Prom Night is the 22nd episode of the 6th season of Full House. This is directed by Zwick, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. It's a really good episode, definitely a very sweet and moving episode, and there are two parts of the narrative, so I'll talk about each of them in turn. But of course, we have our fun intro with everybody playing a card game. That actually carries over into the rest of the episode, which doesn't happen that frequently. So I quite liked that. I thought that worked really well. And part of the episode focuses on Danny and part on DJ. Danny finds out that Vicky is actually 7 months older than him. He thought she was a little bit younger than him. And I feel like he's making a big deal out of it. Yes, she lied, but it's not like she lied in the relationship. This was something they found out when they first met because she'd been told to lie for her career. So I don't necessarily think lying was a bad thing. It's not like she lied on a dating profile or anything. And Danny has a very backwards view where he said he was brought up to think that men in a relationship should be older, taller, and stronger than the woman. And that's just not a great way of thinking. And I feel like it's a little unusual for Danny as well to have such strong views about something that's not very kind towards women. But he does eventually realise that actually it's not a big deal. And I think we managed to get a good message out of it, that you don't need to have this view that men have to be taller and stronger. Great if they are, great if they aren't. It doesn't matter. So I think Danny finally came around to it, and it was not a bad part of the episode. The main focus is on DJ. DJ, Kimmy, and Steve are going dress shopping for the prom, and they bump into Rachel, played by Cristi Harris, Steve's ex. She happens to be wearing the same dress as DJ, and she's very flirtatious immediately. It's very clear what her personality is like. And then we go to the prom. DJ looks stunning. Everybody looks fantastic. Becky is there chaperoning. Jesse's playing the music. I thought that was a really good decision to involve Jesse and Becky. And then it's time to announce prom king and queen. And I feel like this is so stupid. Not within the episode, but just in general, the concept. Because, of course, Steve was crowned prom king, and his ex Rachel was crowned prom queen. And that seems so stupid. I feel like, and maybe some schools do this, I don't know, but I feel like they should crown the couple, the prom king and queen couple. Granted, maybe there's an argument there that says, well, if you do that, it excludes people who are there on their own, not as a couple, which, yeah, fair enough, I can see that argument. But I just feel like crowning king and queen when they're not couples, it just seems like a really, really bad idea. And it was in the episode. And unfortunately, Rachel does kiss Steve, and DJ sees this. She thinks Steve is kissing Rachel, and she kisses Paul, and it's quite a dramatic time. And DJ is about to go up to this party in the hotel with Paul, and Steve's going up there. Rachel's going up, obviously Kimmy, and Becky and Jesse both step in and make them realise that it's not going to solve anything. And they have to use their words and they have to communicate. And I don't know if DJ necessarily overreacted when she saw Steve being kissed by Rachel. I feel like it was a very gut reaction. But at the same time, immediately kissing somebody else to get your own back is not a good look. And Becky encourages them to actually talk about it. And Steve says all of the right things. And when he says, I didn't know what love was until I met you, it's very clear that DJ melted in the moment and everything is well between them again. I think there are some good lessons here as well. For anybody of any age, but particularly if you are of prom age, you might bump into your ex, you might be crowned king and queen. Don't handle it this way, but also don't overreact as well. So I think there are some good lessons there for anybody, but specifically for people the age of DJ and Kimmy and Steve. Really nice atmosphere at the prom, really gorgeous costumes from everybody. The music was great in the background. And then, of course, we have the subplot with Danny and Vicky as well. So all things considered, I think it's a really great episode with some really good messages. Prom night is a pretty brilliant episode of Full House.